Today, I'm going to share my story. Mr. Krakani, if you are listening to this, I pray. I don't want you to die. No, I don't want you to die. I want you to suffer. I want you to be very miserable. I don't want your family, your wife, or your children to suffer because of your deeds. I want you to feel every pain. I want you to be paralyzed with a sickness that you would suffer for the rest of your life. But I want you to live a very long life so that you can go through it.
Abusua da bia meka cho se anma ketu epitu kwayem ono no wadwin ne di na mu masema da bia oka ne se fa wonto ma bebo media no ehona you see how it is because anything a young girl be on social media film maybe about kase with this agenda you put say justice for Ochanya wa baba be voice out a candidate say a teacher way back in SHS eye no mo ba bia ntwayi na was a government of Ghana a years step in na mo full just in the map I what just media message so best taking one stay with me take you through this journey everything that went on everything this lady is saying. Let's break it down. Yeah, just here. So ladies and gentlemen, and what I'm able to and him say Nigerian ni akra just say any uncle and the cousin yen yendo said offering a year 7 years ago. And your friend Ochanya, still the Nigerians and some of the Ghanaians, and then all the ladies are seeking justice for this girl. Say, this girl, I was saying, teach uncle and then the cousin should be arrested and then they should be sentenced to prison. I know I'm a lot of girls and back out to see what they are going through. And then one girl who is called Mavis or internet and also TikTok, especially about voice it out for a teacher way back in these ages. Was a teacher, you know, I didn't know maybe I just say, and yet, wahara sema just say, and yet, na kyo yichi said, "Who school voter read na yoku, a young Marco girls." Now, and a teacher near watch, teacher needs to do any full name. I nyan, a Ebenezer Krakani. Yes, this is Ebenezer Krakani. Ebenezer Krakani. I started saying, Oyananyadwa. Now, according to Gewa, say, this teacher is being found as one of the respected teacher when she was on campus. And then before the Novo campus class, she was around 14 years. So in the last day at SHS, which is 17 years, you know, and a teacher in your time at the year do be because teach girl no a parent a trusted teacher so that they put the girl into the teacher's care because who be able to teach in to admit a she teaching in Mensa. I will find initial teaching in Mensa. On Shabayana so Emma woman. Because into what pet so afraid for you crowd could teach you are, they're not afraid. The person will be they're not afraid. The teacher dead now because the side no bonnie when it to dead now. Last day this girl was writing her was last paper. And teacher in friend I just said, according to the girl, was started so you know maybe it wasn't pleasant. I just said the girl got opportunity to run away. But still now, this teacher got the opportunity to do whatever he wanted to do. It may be I just say it is bad. Okay, just listen carefully, listen to this girl, everything she has to say, and know what some of the teachers, and then the teacher will come online and say, the government should give them allowance for self-control. Teacher need self-control. This girl has explained everything. Check this video.
Today, I'm going to share my story. Mr. Krakani, if you are listening to this, I pray. I don't want you to die. No, I don't want you to die. I want you to suffer. I want you to be very miserable. I don't want your family, your wife, or your children to suffer because of your deeds. I want you to feel every pain. I want you to be paralyzed with a sickness that you would suffer for the rest of your life. But I want you to live a very long life so that you can go through it. Honestly. Justice for Ochanya. First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to people like Obidi, Dr. Zita, the Bold Feminist, Talk with Siri, and all the feminists out there that are pushing the agenda and making sure that women are heard and the rights of women are being fought for. Well, in this campaign, a lot of people have been sharing their stories, and then I feel that has really pushed me to also share mine because I feel or I believe when we expose these perpetrators, these things, I know it will not entirely stop, but then people would know who they really are. What really pushed me is this high school teacher that came on the internet and said the government should give him an allowance or should give them allowances for self-control because the students are young, they are fresh, they are looking beautiful, and then they need to control themselves. Excuse me, I mean, this really triggered me, and I wouldn't lie. Watching all these videos of girls coming out to share that story has really opened my mind. And I really truly believe that if a proper research is done, we would find out that majority, maybe 80% of the girls today, or girls in general, or women in general, have been sexually assaulted at certain points of their lives. Today, I'm going to share my story. And the person who assaulted me is called Mr. Krakani. Yes, Mr. Krakani. I went to senior high school in Malco Girls Senior High School. It is a school located in the Volta region in Ho of Ghana. I started senior high school at the age of 13 because I was yet to turn 14. So I turned 14 when I was already in senior high school. So yes, and then I finished senior high school when I was at age 17. The reason why maybe you can see my eyes are a bit teary is because I've recorded this video multiple times. Unbeknownst to me, my storage was full, and then the video keeps ending. But hopefully I'm able to record this video. So let me give you an overview so that you can understand my story better. I was already 13 in high school, and then I finished high school at the age of 17. I wasn't even 18 in anywhere in the story. Fast forward, there is this teacher called Mr. Krakani. Mr. Krakani was the head house master, if I would put it that way. He was not living on campus with us. Mind you, Malco Girls is an all-girls senior high school. And all the teachers on campus with the ladies or with the girls were female teachers. I could mention a few. There was Madame Lillian, I don't know the others, Madame Delight, Lady Gaga, and yes, that's all I can remember. So those were the teachers on campus with us. And then Mr. Krakani was the head teacher because he had access to, I think, the plants or something. So if there was power outage, he comes to make sure the generator is turned on. If there is water issues, he comes to make sure it's fixed. He made sure the school was kept clean and all of that. So because of that gesture, or because of his responsibilities, he was deemed as one of the respected and honorable men on campus. That's why I believe he was given the head teacher title. Because Mr. Krakani was always up and about and very active and all of that, and was seen as a good person, a lot of parents had entrusted their wards in his care. And my dad and my mom and my aunties are prime examples. So I would always go to Mr. Krakani if I needed to speak with my dad, or I needed to speak with my aunt, or I needed to speak with any relative of mine. Mind you, anytime we go on vacation or we go on holidays, I meet some of my male friends that would ask me, oh, do you know any teacher called Mr. Krakani? And I'll be like, yeah, I know him. He's a very good man. And then they'll be like, no, Mr. Krakani is trying to take their girlfriends and all of that. And I'm like, Mr. Krakani? Nah, he wouldn't do that. No, he's not that kind of person. Maybe it's just rumor, whatever. Until it happened to me. So fast forward up to WASI time. If you don't know WASI is like a general examination you write, and then when you pass the exam, you can go to the university to have your degree, your first degree or your HND. So as it was time for WASI and we were preparing, and I had just one last paper to write, which was economics. Mind you, in economics, in my whole school, I was considered one of the best economics students. In my class, I think the best economic students were from my class, general arts class. That was Alice and I. And funny enough, Alice was my assistant class rep and I was the class rep. So we were the best economic students overall in the school. So let's put that fact aside. So we just had one last paper to write, which was economics. And then unbeknownst to me, my dad had already planned with my big sister to pick me up the next day after my paper. So after my final paper, I'm just leaving the next day. I saw Mr. Krakani on campus and I greeted and whatever. And he told me, oh, your dad wants to speak to you and whatever. I had no idea that my dad had made these plans. Mind you, we had spoken about it, but we had not really finalized. So I didn't really know the plans of my dad. So I said, okay, and I followed Mr. Krakani to his office to speak to my dad because that is the usual. We go to his office, he calls our parents, and then we speak to our parents. So after speaking with my dad, he gave me the rundown that my sister and her husband would be picking me up from school, and then they'll be taking me home right after my economics paper. So that means that I have to clear myself from school the very day I finish my economics so that the next morning I'll be out of school. So I finished the call with my dad, and then Mr. Krakani started engaging me in a conversation. He was like, oh, why don't you stay longer in Ho? You know, you have an auntie here. And I was, at first, it didn't even dawn on me. Yes, I do have so I did have an auntie in Ho. I'm speaking in the past because she's late, and rest in peace to her. But at that time, it had not even crossed my mind, and I was wondering how he even knew that. But I just assumed that my dad probably mentioned it to him, so that's why he knows my auntie is in Ho. And he was like, "Why don't I stay with my auntie in Ho so he can show me around? Like, it's not good that I've come to the city, I don't know anywhere and whatever." And mind you, I didn't grow up in Ho, so the only route I know in Ho is the route from my auntie's house to my school. Sorry for the interruption. This is really frustrating because I've recorded this video multiple times. I started recording this video at 4 p.m. Look at the time. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see, but it's currently 8:48, almost 9 p.m. I've shot this video over and over and over again. And it's only after I'm done saying everything that I have to say and I go and check, and it's either my phone went it's either my phone goes off or my storage is full or something just happens and then the phone stops recording. Anyway, back to the topic of me sharing my story. I sincerely hope that as I'm sharing my story, it also motivates other young girls to speak out and expose all these perpetrators out there. Okay, so I looked back at the video and I realized I got to the point where I said the whole idea was to just finish my paper and then be out of school. So I spoke with my dad, we agreed on that, and then from nowhere, Mr. Krakani started walking towards me. I was seated on one of the tables, in this teachers' offices, in the tables, they have like books of students and all of that there. And normally we sit on the table while the teachers sit on their desk or on their chair with their desk and computer and all of that. As I was ready to get up and leave, he was approaching me. So I was a bit confused and he was talking. And while he was approaching me, he kept saying, it's not good that you come to the city, that is Ho. You come to Ho and then you don't know the environment, you don't move around, like you don't know anywhere. At least explore around or stay with your auntie, then I can show you around. While he's saying all of this, he's approaching me. He is approaching me, and then from nowhere, suddenly, I will not call it kissing. I don't know what it is, but his mouth was all over me. And I don't know if you are listening, those who know Mr. Krakani, he has a very big mouth. Yes, his mouth was all over me, saliva on my face. And in that moment, the only thing I could do was I had to fold my lips and press my lips inside like this. Yes, I had to be like that. And he was still talking, saying, "Oh, why are you crying?" Because at that moment, I just broke into tears. He was like, "Why are you crying? You're such a baby. You're not a small girl anymore. Stop crying. What?" And while he was saying all that, he dipped his hand in my pants. I was wearing a sports jersey. Those sports jersey we wear in primary school, like the PE kits. That's what I was wearing. And the PE kits are big. It's not like anything tight that you'd be like, "Oh, you're seducing him. What?" First of all, I'm a child. Second of all, I'm in a uniform. Whether it's a PE kit or whatever, it's still a school uniform. I was still in a school uniform. It's not like I even had braids on or nothing, no lash, no nothing. So what would a 40-something-year-old man see in a small girl like me? And I bet on it that I was not the only one he ever did that thing to. Because if he was bold enough to do such thing to me, I mean, he probably did it to other girls. Anyway, I digress. So while he was doing that, he left me to go and close the window. So the door is on my right and then the window is on my left. So normally we the students use the window as an indicator that he is in the office or not. So if the window is open, we know that he is there and we can come there. But if it's closed, we know he's not around. So I'm probably positive that he went to close the window so that he could have some privacy. Unbeknownst to him, when he went to close the window, I ran.
After this girl came online to see everything they want to see, the comment section, a lot of people are saying their own. Say, this same picture, Krakanina, why a Batman, why you be, because why you be, because do you want to intimally they are forcing one of the prominent people in Ghana, one of the celebrities in Ghana, so by online or by comment section, because, Savage and almost shut down intentionally, or what they were our last day in school. Then, mama. No baba be ye would on bay because I'm in so school no be now no or bon paya my yeon no mean na more story or maka so musha they can share. You see this thing? So teachers now no more SHS now most of them good teachers are there way back in SHS good teachers are there but some of them on my imagine say crying getting I don't know what will come to their mind. And then they say, oh, tiredness, hey, come on, I didn't uniform. What will you see in a uniform that will attract you the extent say, go and do something to this child? Hmm? And a lot of people buy a job, yeah, needing a see to me is for me. I say once were a victim. Say teacher knew me, yeah. I hear no maybe I just say, or no, a victim. Am I Chef Abyss? And so by online Chef Abyss, Ebeka said, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Also, by way, sorry. A queer official by sympathy for part two, bra. What you say? And my a lot of people so by give me a friend, bebe, and so by saying, you said teacher anyway, yes, what ye be my tiame. What I say, teacher anyway. Say, yeah, what do you hear me? Now, who you across see, across walk. So, I time I studied HS, which is let's say 14 years, completed around 17 years. She's still underage. When you're illegal, we illegal. And you know, teacher, no, you see, right now, information just say, we're free Marco girls so Echo Mauli. So, the government of Ghana, the GES, we are all pushing this agenda because from this girl, you cannot tell me that this girl will complete TSHS around 2017. 2017 till now. This teacher has been doing it one school and another, one school and another. You cannot tell me that this is the only girl. A lot of people say they are victims. It's in place, the government of Ghana, we are pleading, we are all using our platform to plead, we are all using our platform to say that, please, this teacher needs to be arrested, put into jail, sentenced. Story brass out yourself or worry a few days ago or a few weeks ago. Which this teacher needs to be arrested. Because from that girl called Mavis, could be one girl that would be your future wife. Would be one girl that would be somebody that could be prominent lady or permanent person in Ghana. And because of this act, all these things is going to be fade away. Let's pray everything will fine. Let's be GS will hear us, and then everything will go through. My name is Kwabo Black, a higher Media. Stay and stick with me, my crowd.